How to mind your business. How to mind your business.
Good day, everybody. My name is Gerard Barnes, and this is my new podcast. I call it Powercast. And today, I am going to share my first podcast with you guys and hope that you bear with me, because starting your first podcast can cause a lot of fear, anxiety, all of that. I have all of that right now. But one thing I'm not afraid of, and that's pushing the record button. Starting a podcast for me at 61 is actually a bucket list. And I said I was going to do it 2 weeks ago, and I found excuses. And then I was going to do it last week. I found an excuse. I was going to do it yesterday, and I found an excuse. I am a professional of making excuses sometimes. So I just decided today to push the button and see what happens. And it really doesn't matter right now, because I know once I push that button, 5, 10, 20 videos from now, this won't be a thing. Okay. And plus, you have to work through the kinks. You have to find out what works and what doesn't work. I know that there would be a big change coming in the future as I do podcasts, which I intend to do it every day. And the reason why I want to do a podcast every day is to help people over the age of 55 get over the fear of diving into this new world. I just want to show you guys how I function, and hopefully that'll help you function and understand this is not a game. This is not something where you can just buy a camera and set up and think that's how you're going to be successful. Being successful is not perfection. That was my big problem of wanting everything just right. And let me tell you, perfection is never going to happen. But one thing that can happen, will happen, and should happen is consistency. Consistency will make you perfect at whatever you're imperfect at. For me, mine's is my microphone levels. The more I practice, the more I do my mock videos, I get to learn and have a relationship with my audio DAW system, FL Studio. Shout out to FL Studio. They've been great. I love it. So we're going to get into the problems that most older people, when I say older, 55 and over, we have a problem with being a part of social media. Social media is not making us a part of them. It's mostly young people sharing content, and it's geared towards younger people. I mean, you look at the lingo, you look at the tips that they give, you look at the terminology, all the tutorials. I feel like a dummy, because they don't speak my language and I don't understand their language, because they are so far advanced with different equipment that it makes it easy and they can communicate with each other. They can't communicate with me because I am not into that world, but I am now. I'm learning. And this is where you start working on your podcast. You have to learn the nuts and bolts, the different parts that make it work. For instance, the camera, the mic, the audio, my monitor, my lighting, everything has to work. Oops, I don't have my light on. See? That's another thing. Everything has to work. Let me put my lights on. And this is how you prepare every day for your podcast. You have to create the ambiance. So, my podcast is basically going to be a journey where I try to reach 2,200 subscribers. And the only way that I'm going to do that is be consistent. I plan on being on this podcast every day, bringing you content, bringing you my life experience as far as being a business owner. I can't tell you how to run your business, but I can tell you how I run my business, and hopefully that'll give you some tips for the people that are 55 and older that are looking to start a business after retirement or start a podcast. So I'm doing this all in trial and error, and I'm glad that you guys are here to witness it, because you're holding me accountable. So I'm learning as I go along, and I'm going to teach as I go along. Okay, so just understand that there are things that really bother me right now, and that's the imposter syndrome. 99.9% of us have it. I'm over it now. I had it. But there's no way you can get on this podcast in front of a camera, in front of millions of people, and have an imposter syndrome. You have to identify what it is, and identify that you have it, and then remove it. But a lot of us act like it doesn't exist. And most of the time, we all suffer from the imposter syndrome. But me, not today. I am who I am. I'm 55 plus. Actually, I'm 61. And I had to get over vanity. You know, vanity is dead after a certain age. I used to be young and cute, just like you. Just like you. But at 61, that's not a thing anymore. You know, my teeth have had its years. It has been good to me. You know, my wrinkles are showing because I'm older, and, you know, receding hairline, a little chubby here, but I'm older. So I have to accept, and you have to accept, the things that you call imperfection. Once again, there's no such thing as perfect. We must get over comparing ourselves to these young kids. They're young, they're beautiful. And a lot of us are intimidated by that and don't want to get in front of a camera because you don't look good, because you don't like the sound of your voice, or you don't like the way that, you know, you look under the light. Or in front of the camera, it makes you look fat. Whatever. This is not for you. Vanity is dead. Content is key. And if you're 55 and over, you have the key. You have life experience. And let me tell you, life experience is golden, even for the younger generation. They are craving it. They don't talk to their parents like we did back in the day. They will Google how to communicate. They will Google how to get along with someone, to find out how to feel. So, with that being said, there's nothing wrong with you as a senior giving life experience, because someone needs to hear your story. A lot of times we as older people feel like we don't have a voice on this platform, but we do. It's just not enough of us. So it starts with one senior at a time. And I'm here to do my part, and hopefully I can help someone out. Senior or one of the centennials or millennials. Hopefully I can help someone out. That's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to add content that's valuable to people and help people start their own business, or show them how I'm starting my podcast, and hopefully they get inspired. Because it's not as easy as grabbing a phone as these millennials and centennials say. You just grab a phone and just start shooting away. Well, there's a lot of algorithms involved. There's a lot of keywords involved. There's a lot of analytics involved, and monitoring yourself. There's a lot of parts involved, and if you go down that rabbit hole real deep, you'll find out how exciting it could be, how fun it can be. But to not look at it and then kind of analyze it in your own head, what it might be, yeah, it's pretty fucking scary. because you start creating these stories that are not true. But once you dive into it, you'll find out, oh wow, it's not that bad. And getting in front of the camera is is going to be the hardest part. Film yourself, practice. If you don't like the sound of your voice, that's fine. Just keep taping yourself, and eventually you will find your voice. I found my voice just being authentic. That's just how I roll. I never had a problem with my voice. I never had a problem saying, oh, I don't like my voice. I never had a problem with, oh, I don't like the way I look. I never was handsome, So even when I get comments that will be coming in, saying how ugly I am, that won't bother me at all. Telling me how short I am. Been there, done that. Sticks and stones, whatever. So, I didn't get a chance to tell you about my business. I manufacture moisturizer, after shower moisturizer for dark skin patients, primarily anyone with compromised skin, ashy, scaly, peeling, flaky skin. Some of my clients are cancer patients that have gone through chemotherapy and radiation where their skin is compromised and people are unable to touch them. They are unable to apply any lotion. Could you imagine that as a black person, not taking a shower, or not taking a shower, but someone washing you as a senior or as a patient, and you cannot apply any moisturizer? Well, search no more. This is all natural, edible, safe, and will give you back your dignity if you have compromised skin, especially seniors and cancer patients. So that was my mission, because my mother, I lost her 40 years ago to cancer, and she had the same problem with her skin being compromised, and we couldn't touch her. And I vowed that I would do something about that, and here I am. It took me 11 years to get here, and I can say that I am quite successful in the business. And well, what is success? Success to me is making a profit. Success to me is hiring someone. I haven't had a chance to hire anyone in 2025, but that's the goal. I want to make sure I can help someone eat and take care of their family. So, and also I do white labeling. And everything I'm discussing right now, I have episodes for them. I have episodes for white labeling, how to start a business, the imposter syndrome, how to get over fear, older people like us dealing with social media for the first time, what type of equipment. I'm not going to say what type of equipment is good. I can tell you what type of equipment I have. And hopefully you can duplicate that. Inexpensive. And that's another thing. A lot of people might think, it costs a lot of money to do this. It's relative. You could spend the same amount of money going shopping on Amazon, or going out to a club by buying a new outfit and buying drinks and paying for parking and paying for gas. That money can be invested into the equipment you need to start a podcast and the hopes of being monetized. You want to always consider that when you're diving into this. How can I get monetized? Well, first of all, I just want to say this. I'm not a professional or I know everything. But one thing I do know, one video is not going to get you monetized. I mean, unless you're doing something really extreme. But realistically, how it works is you would need at least 20, 40 videos to compete. One video, you want, with the first video like this one that I'm doing, you want to lead people into something. That's how you get followers. Now, I'm leading you guys into my next episode. So I'm giving you all I'm not giving you the meat and potatoes. I'm giving you the ends of the bread right now. And this is leading you over to episode 2, the Chronicles 2, whatever I decide to call it. But I understand how this works. So It's sort of like Trump's secret weapon. Trump will shift the goalposts every time he talks. Something's going to happen on June 10th. June 10th comes, he moves it to September. He makes sure he moves it far away so you forget. And then he keeps moving it and keeps moving it. And people buy into that. But that's a strategy. And that's a strategy with doing podcasts, is you want to lead people to something and have great content. My content is just all about why older people aren't part of social media and how to get people to trust me enough to lead them into an area where they can start a podcast. So having confidence is the name of the game here. Confidence comes through that camera, and if you show confidence, then people trust you. People feel safe when they watch you, and you can actually sell a product. But first, you can't come onto a podcast and start selling the product. People have to trust you. They have to feel safe that you are going to give them the right information and lead them to a place where you solve a problem. So that's pretty much that. Now, I'm going to close out, but the last thing I want to say is nothing's perfect. This will never be perfect. Actually, you see, my lights weren't in. So it's about consistency. Now, when I do this podcast 5 more times, I won't forget the lights. It'll become a habit because I'm practicing consistency. And then it would be perfect. But for now, no. Play the tambourine, stand on the sideline, make mistakes, grow. But you have to push record, and you have to have something to say. At 55 and over, we have a voice. You have something to say. Stop comparing yourself and being worried about how you look. That has nothing to do with a podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I always remember the message. I hardly ever remember how that person looked. And if they had a flaw, so what? It never mattered to me. I don't judge myself anymore. That gives you paralysis when you judge yourself, because you're always thinking about how I look and not focusing on the message. If you judge yourself, that means you judge other people. So if you say, I don't judge people, well, you're judging yourself. Yes, you are. You're judging a person. So these are the things that you need to do to deal with, and I have episodes about that. I will give you solutions instead of just saying do this and do that and do that, because I understand. As a 61-year-old, I understand the information and how it should be delivered to someone like myself, and how not to talk to technical. I don't need the technical terminology. I'm not going to be investing in this for the rest of my life. The kids, this is what they're going to grow into, so they're starving for this information so they can compete as they get older. I understand that. But for me and you, we are just going to be consistent. I'm going to push out content, and you are going to continue to watch me, and you are going to share my website to anyone that is in need of an after shower moisturizer who has compromised skin, and you are going to subscribe and share my link with someone that you know that's 55 and over, that's sitting at home talking about, I want to start a business. I want to start a podcast. Well, watch this gentleman here. Watch this gentleman here. I'm going to walk you through the mistakes so you can avoid them. I'm going to walk you through the success, and show you how I reward myself. It's very important when you win at something, when you do something well, don't just move on to the next thing. Stop, time out, reward yourself. Go get a cup of coffee, go have a beer, whatever you do to consider it a reward, do that. Because in this platform, no one's going to pat you on the back. You're going to get more criticism than you've ever seen in your life. If you can't handle criticism, this is definitely not the avenue that you need to go down, because people are going to be brutal. You haven't heard or seen anything yet until you get on this camera and think that you did a great job, and then you have someone tell you how ugly you are. You have someone that tell you how dumb you are. If you can't handle that and understand why you're here, why you're doing this, that doesn't matter. That never mattered to me. That's why I pushed record. So I hope you guys get ready and be ready, because this is an opportunity for you to sit your ass at home, make some money, join a community, and maybe save a life, help someone. Maybe not necessarily save a life, but just help someone, solve a problem. Okay? And in the meantime, I'm gonna help you. I'm going to throw breadcrumbs out there to show you how to start a business. I'm just going to walk you through how I did it. I'm not going to tell you how to run a business, because that will take up too much of what I'm trying to do. But I will just tell you how I started my business, and hopefully you'll pick up on some breadcrumbs and say, oh, okay, this is what I need. I didn't know that. So this is great for me, and this is going to be great for you. We're going to both learn some things at the same time. So I always want you to mind your business. And if there's anything else that I can do for you to help you, or any content that you want me to research and talk about, please drop a comment down there, and let's talk. Okay? Thank you very much for your time, and don't forget to subscribe.